Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence with Just Ask Podcast and Just Ask Talk Show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. And it's beginning of the year, so I want to say Happy New Year, but we all the way to the end of the first of the month. So, however, I do have enough resources for you today that you're going to be glad we did this early. Reason I said you're going to be glad we did this early because we have a returning guest, and our guest wants to give you heads up on some things that you need to do for those who are concerned about their property taxes. And we don't want you to lose your house. I mean, the treasurer, Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree, comes and joins us quarterly, ladies and gentlemen, to prepare you so that you don't fall under the line of keeping your property. So I always ask him if there's something that we need to know or educate the viewers on. Let's do that. And so without further ado, I want to bring in our guest, Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. Hey, Mr. Sabree.
Hey, thank you, Marsh Florence. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, I had to tell everybody that, you're coming because you want to make sure that people are prepared in the beginning of the year with what they need to be doing for their
Yeah.
taxes. It's just, I don't know why everybody gets nervous when it's tax time because we didn't have taxes all our lives. So I know you have some things going on, and I just need for you to give us the update so that people can feel
Okay.
better about the decisions they have to make in the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Thank you. This happens every year that we try to let taxpayers know that if they have delinquent taxes that are 3 years old, like right now, 2023 taxes are the taxes that are facing foreclosure. So if you owe 2023, year 2023 or prior year taxes, then you have to get into a payment agreement by the end of March or pay those taxes off in full in order to avoid tax foreclosure, property tax foreclosure. This is very important. And we urge people to contact us right away, not to wait till the last minute, because we've got thousands of people who could be facing foreclosure, and we usually end up with some people who come to the last minute and just to find out what they have to do. So you need to know the situation you're in, you're not sure what to do, call us at 313-224-5990. That's our call center.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the payment plans that we have, I'll give you a little explanation about those. We have three types of plans that people can use. Well, two are actually payment plans, and one is a hardship extension. The payment plan for a homeowner who lives in the home, this is your residence. You own the home and you live there. That payment plan is called an interest reduction stipulated payment agreement.
Mm-hmm.
The interest is reduced from 18% to 6%, and the payments can be stretched out as long as 5 years. But it's very important that you pay your current taxes and don't let them come over to the county treasurer as delinquent in order to stay in that plan. That's a very good plan for the homeowners. The other plan is called the interest. It's just called a stipulated payment agreement. It's the interest is 18% a year. It's available to anyone, business owners or landlords or anyone who's not the owner and occupant of a residential property. That payment plan, right now you have to put 50% down. We start in June of every year, putting 10% down, and now it's up to 50% down, and then you pay off the rest of it over the next 5 months.
So let me ask you
It's
this,
important.
Treasurer. A lot of people. I'm trying to figure out. You come to you tell us every quarter whatever people can do. When you visit us or visit all the media outlets, do you get a high volume of people who are actually paying attention and following the instructions to get things done? I mean, it seems like people still like on that cusp of not knowing what to do, when to do it, or who to feel comfortable in doing it with. So I wanted to bring up this the list here of your property tax payment plans that are available. And I know we always speak about these. And are a lot of people actually utilizing these plans?
Yes, they are. I think we have over 6,000 people right now in payment plans, just for this early part of the process. We may have over 10,000 before we get to the end of March, but we got at least about 6,000 or more right now. And people are paying. It's important that if you get into a payment plan, that you actually make the payments.
So
That's
can
really
you go over
important.
these ones that we have on the screen? Because I know them, but I always like to hear about the ERSPA and the ones that you have listed. I always tell people I think a lot of people fall under the distress owner occupant uh, thing one, but I want you to be able to elaborate on these if you could.
Yes, I did just mention the interest reduction stipulated payment agreement
Mm-hmm.
for occupants of residential property, and I just mentioned the stipulated payment agreement for anyone else. The third one is the distressed owner occupant extension. We also have an extension, a hardship extension for businesses as well. That's on our website. We'll have a few people who have businesses that have experienced a severe hardship, financial hardship. They have to provide some documentation,
Mm-hmm.
but we also have a hardship for them. Now, for the distressed owner occupant extension, this is for owners of residential property, occupants, owner occupants, who have experienced a severe financial hardship. It could be because of medical reasons, it could be because of loss of job, could be for various reasons, mental health, uh, whatever it is. Um, these individuals should apply for a hardship extension. We ask for some documentation, of course, and they will get an extension till March 31st of 2027 to
Okay.
pay those taxes because we have the statute allows us to offer this hardship extension, and we do it every year. So that's another it's another avenue that people should look at
Now we
if they're
should
having
hope that
trouble.
people who are ill, is going through some type of physical or mental crisis, take that in consideration, especially if if they got medical documentation showing that they were hospitalized or bad accident or whatever it is all those things taken in consideration so they can get that extension?
Yes, they are. The other thing that we have going on too, some people are experiencing deed fraud, and people are actually stealing properties from
Mm.
people illegally, taking their property, phony deeds and phony notaries signing off on these deeds, notarizing deeds, and recording them. So people are getting their property stolen from them without even knowing it. So this, if we find a case like that, and this has to be unraveled. So while this is they're in litigation or while they're prosecuting these individuals, sometimes what we do is we'll remove that property from foreclosure so that the property doesn't get sold in an auction
Okay.
and make it worse than it already is, in a situation worse than it already is. So if we know about this, and we have hundreds of cases now in the county of this deed fraud. So this is another aspect of what we do. That started in the last couple of years. It's gotten a lot worse, and
That's
so
bad. Yeah,
we know
you get your
about it.
property
It is
stolen and you don't even know it.
don't even know it.
Mm.
But there's a free service by the Register of Deeds that will allow a person to get notified if someone does anything on your property. They can monitor that. So the Register of Deeds has it's called a property alert. It's a free service,
Okay.
and you can go to. Let me tell you the website to go to. I mean yeah, it's Wayne County Land Records.com. It's Wayne County Land Records.com, and then you see a little tab say property alert. You click on that, and then you'll follow the instructions on the screen. So
We're going to
it's
reach
very
out to the deeds office and see if we can get someone to come join us. Because a lot of people, like you said, when you get your land stolen from or your property stolen from you from through a deed and you don't have any knowledge of it, it could be months or years, and all of a sudden somebody said, I own this house, you don't own this house, or this property, everything gets tied up, discombobulated, and you just,
yeah,
I mean, especially if you're a senior and you're trying to maintain living in your home and you don't have any help or extended family members, it's just a ball of confusion. So that
yeah,
property alert is a good concept.
good concept. And here's the thing about this. The FBI said this is one of the number one crimes that's going on in the country right now.
Wow.
And they've been involved with Wayne County. They have a deed fraud task force. The sheriff, prosecutor, and register of deeds are all involved in it. And we get brought into this too because people are buying properties and paying taxes, and so we end up referring a lot of people to the deed fraud task force. And the thing about this crime is it hasn't been given the attention in the courts that it deserves.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying that is, if somebody pulls out a gun and takes your car, carjacks you, that that's a serious prison time if you get convicted for that. Well, if somebody steals your property, your house, which is worth more than your car, most of the time, some of these people are getting probation for doing that. And so, that it's not given the seriousness because it's not I guess, a crime of, what you call a violent crime, but it's still a serious, serious crime.
It's a
Deserves.
violation crime, so I don't see the difference between violent and violation. It's still, it's still a crime. And like you said, we need to really put a handle on that, especially if it's your home.
Yeah, I'm working with Register of Deeds too, and the sheriff and prosecutor, because we all need to we try to figure out ways to elevate. I think there was a bill passed in Lansing last year which made it a felony, which it wasn't even a felony before last year. And now, we just need to make sure that people are treating it as serious. The court is treating it as a serious crime that it is. So
Okay.
that was something that I wanted to mention.
Yeah, take it seriously. I have
Yeah.
two things on the table I want to talk about. Now, I got to go to this one right here. So, a lot of people don't know just yet. You have launched your mobile
Yeah,
office.
right, right. We're excited about it too. We started last summer, just like a light launch. We went out to a few communities, a few meetings, let people know we have a mobile office that we can take to the community. And we have two workstations, to a little waiting area in the back. Employees can do everything on that mobile office that we do down in the office downtown, except we don't accept cash, of course. That we're not going to accept cash, but you can make your payments. You can get information on what you owe, get into a payment plan, all of that right there on the mobile office. So we're setting up appointments. We have, I think, 7 or 8, I think, in the month of February even. And what we do in the wintertime, we actually go to a site, maybe a community center, and we have something set up inside. But
Hmm.
then we also bring people out to the mobile office. We're just letting people know about it right now. In the summer, in the spring and summer, we'll be out. We're all over the county, visiting all the communities in Wayne County.
And don't, excuse me, don't forget to include it's wheelchair accessible.
Yes, it is. There's a ramp in the back,
Yes.
and it is. Yep, it's
Yes, I had the pleasure of being at your grand opening, and I took photos. So I'm gonna have to bring those photos in, but it was really nice to see how wide it was, spacious and private for individuals to go in there to take care of their business. And then right when I went to the back, I saw the wheelchair accessible lift, and I said, okay, because people who are disabled want to be able to handle their own affairs. Everybody don't want everybody to have to take care of their business. Some things they want to do themselves, and I just thought that
right.
was an added plus. So I would hope that going forward, that most of our service providing agencies, if they end up with mobile units, will do the same. Provided make it accommodationable for all.
Yeah. And it's good to not just for wheelchairs. We found that some individuals, have like bad knees and
Hmm.
can't climb up steps, so they'll be able to walk up on the lift and then get lifted up, into the office, into the mobile office. That worked out too for a few people. So that was a nice bonus because we didn't think about that, but that's something that people have
It
a hard
helps.
time climbing. Yeah.
Yep, it helps. Now, I have something on my desk that I need for you to address to the public because I know we need to know what's going on. It says Wayne County returns millions to those who lost property to tax foreclosure. Okay,
Okay.
what's going on? I
Me
know
too.
this is a hot release.
Yes, this is something that's going on. This is there are two things that are going on with these um, claims. These retroactive claims. These are claims for what you would call excess proceeds. When we foreclose on a property, the law changed back in 2021. Said, hey, you know what, treasurers, you can't keep all the money from the sale of the property because as law used to allow county treasurer to foreclose. We get the taxes and the fees, and then we would also get everything that was left over. But the law changed that now the person who lost the property can file a claim and get the excess. Anything above, the state allows the treasurer to get the taxes, the expenses that we have, and also a 5% commission of the sale. That's what's allowed for the treasurer. Anything above that, the previous owner can claim the excess proceeds. So that's something that we've been doing since 2021, current years. But this release that you're referring to talks about a Supreme Court decision which said we had to go back 6 years, 2015 to 2020. Anyone who lost property in those years, they would be eligible for the excess proceeds, anything above what I mentioned earlier. So we've been processing this. The deadline to file initially was last March 31st, and then people had to file a motion with the court. All that's been done. The court now is handling these cases. They're going through the process, and we're paying out proceeds. We've already, like I said, millions have already been paid out. We have a long way to go. Got a lot of claimants. Some cases, some properties have more than one interested party. When it's an interested party, I mean people who had a interest in the property filed a claim. Maybe they have a lien on the property. Maybe there was a mortgage on the property, but there's multiple claims for some of the property. So it's taking the court some time to unravel it and determine who gets what and how much each person will receive, so on. But we're going through the process, and it's getting done. And that was just our notice that we wanted to send out. So we've been accused of not doing anything to help people. We did a lot of advertising. We did billboards, postcards, radio, TV, letting people know. We made a video, how to do it, how to file the claims yourself. We did all of that. So we just wanted to let people know that we are actually paying money out. And
well, I actually had I was looking at reading the release, and it says, as of January 8th, 2026, more than 3.8 million has already been returned to eligible claimants in Wayne County. That's true. Good.
Yeah.
That's good. Something's working.
It's working. It's getting done, and we're getting it out. Once the court makes a decision, we have 21 days to issue a payment to a claimant. So we're within that 21-day period. Once the court makes that decision, we have 3 weeks. So that's what we're doing, and we want to let people know that the money's getting sent out, and as the court processes them, we'll issue those checks.
Okay. Now, you know what? I didn't get a chance to upload this one, but you have tax payment options. So pay tax online, pay by mail, pay by phone. I mean, you got so many options here, and then the one that got me was Wayne County mobile app. What's this, DDAT, and the kiosk?
DDAT kiosk. Yeah, the kiosk. We have like 70 locations and where people can pay at a kiosk, grocery stores, community centers, all over. Some have more than one. Some places have more than one kiosk. Some busy locations. And you can always send something by U.S. mail too. Send a check. It's the old-fashioned way.
It's gonna get there. Yeah, I see a Dropbox. You guys have a Dropbox on your location?
Dropbox downstairs. We have 2 kiosks downstairs in the lobby of 400 Monroe, and we also have a Dropbox right next to that.
Okay.
So people can check in there. Don't put cash in the Dropbox. No.
Please don't put cash in it at all, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, no cash. Check.
No cash, and don't give cash to anyone unless it's at the cashier window in the office.
Right.
Don't give cash to anyone. No.
Yeah, I see pay in, and I'm a pay in person type person. I've always been that way because I'm like, I want to make sure. I want to get the person's name that I spoke to, my receipt, whatever it is, And I was brought up in that way that you always ask, who am I speaking with, or on the phone, so that you can record that name, date and time if you need to. And most of the time, I always tell people, when you ask somebody who am I speaking to, and they tell you, you can write down their name, but also thank them for their time and information, because at least they're not thinking that you're like trying to catch them up or anything. You just say, well, thank you so much, Tanya, for helping me out today. And you wrote Tanya's name down. If something go wrong, you can call back and say, well, I spoke to Tanya on such and such a day, and she helped me. And then people know who Tanya is. But a lot of people think that when you ask somebody their name on the phone or whatever, that you're trying to, hold them accountable. Not really. You're just trying to make sure you recognize the person that you did business with. So that's why I'm an in-person person. But but you gave us so many options, and I would hope that people would definitely take in consideration the various ways that they can get their taxes paid without feeling like I couldn't get there. Especially now, this one that says pay taxes online, and it's a QR code. So you can actually
Yes,
use the I have the form here, and I should have had it uploaded. But you can use a QR code to actually.
yes.
Oh my goodness,
You can
we
use
are
the
in the
QR
21st
code,
century.
use the QR code to go right to our website and make appointments. You
Mm-hmm.
have to make an appointment to come in person. So make an appointment. It only takes 2 or 3 minutes. And you can also use the QR code to go and make a payment. You can do a payment plan online as well. You can go and do your payment plan right online. So it's
So
now
many
let me talk about
options.
one other thing about the payment plans. If a person defaulted in a payment plan, then they will be able to they can get into a second payment plan. This is the earned interest reduction plan, the ERSPA. But if they defaulted twice, they're not going to be able to get back into that plan unless they pay all the money up that they owe in the
Mm.
plan. They won't get reinstated unless they pay all the money that they're behind. So if they're 6 months behind, 3 months behind, whatever it is, if they get removed from the plan, they can get reinstated by paying all the money up to where they should be. So
Okay.
that's what I want to mention because if you get removed two times, you're not going to be able to get into the same interest reduction plan. You're going to get the 18% interest, which is
Okay.
much higher. So it's
Wow.
important to keep up with the plan. Just try to keep up with the plan. Don't just miss payments and then think, oh well, I'll catch up later. You got to let us know if you're having a hardship and something comes up, you can't make the payments. Contact the office and let us know.
It would be the easiest way to go. Now, I got to ask that famous question about probate. People
Oh yeah,
always say that when that family, that house get passed down to somebody in the family, or the matriarch passes and the kids still living there, and then they not paying the taxes, or they paying them but not getting credit for what they're doing. They can't. A lot of people don't realize when you live in a house that someone has passed and you could be eligible for home repairs and things like that or loans. You can't get them because the house is not in your name. And then you got other issues coming up with the taxes. So what are we saying to people who have these things going on and they should be
that's
going to
excellent.
probate?
That's an excellent point, and we deal with that a lot in our office because people do living in the homes of deceased relatives, deceased family members. They get behind on the taxes. Maybe they've been paying them for a few years and everything's been going smooth, but now they have a hardship and they fall behind. So they can't get the 6% um, interest rate because they don't own the property. They can't get the repairs like you mentioned because they don't own the property. So they can't get the distressed owner occupant extension because they're not the owner. They're just the occupant. So we have attorneys and our nonprofits that we refer individuals to. United Community Housing Coalition, Lakeshore Legal Aid. We send them to get assistance for probate,
Mm-hmm.
and they will help them for free. These attorneys are free, and we contact our office. It's you can, like I said, WayneCountyMI.gov/treasurer, WayneCountyMI.gov/treasurer, or 313-224-5990. Get information about what probate assistance you might need. Once you file a probate petition, their property will be removed from foreclosure. Once we get that
Mm-hmm.
petition that you filed it, it'll be taken out of the foreclosure cycle while the probate case is going on. So it's very important to contact us. Let us know. We can refer you to get some help. And if you may have your own attorney, that's fine. However you want to do it. But we have some attorneys that work in nonprofits that are free, and they can help with the probate process and keep that property out of foreclosure and keep it in the family. Sometimes these properties have been in the family for, 70, 80, 90 years, 100 years. You don't want to lose that family property.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And does some of these same rules apply to business owners too? A lot of business
Well,
owners have questions about if the property gets passed on and things like that, do some of these rules apply to them too?
They would be able to do the same thing, but they wouldn't have the benefit of a free attorney.
Okay.
They wouldn't be able to get the free attorney that the homeowners, that the occupants of a residential property get. Same thing with landlords. You know, if you're a business owner, you're gonna have to pay your own attorney or file it yourself.
Okay. Okay. And most definitely, you always have that what is it I'm looking for? Well, let me just say this: our veterans and service and our community service workers, what the EMTs, police officers, what is it?
Yeah, it's our first responders
First
and
responders.
veterans.
Mm-hmm.
First responders and veterans, they don't have to put any money down to get into a payment plan. When they
Okay.
come in, usually have to put money down. I mentioned earlier, they don't have to do that. All they have to do is show for veterans the DD 214, show that you've been discharged, honorably discharged from the military, or if you're a first responder, just show your ID. You can get into a payment plan with no money down.
Okay. Well, Treasurer, I have to wrap up. So will you come back and see me again like you usually do?
Yeah, we're gonna come. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna wait for another quarter to go by. I'm gonna come and see you before March 31st.
Okay.
The deadline to make sure that we get the word out to everyone, not to procrastinate. Don't, because you know what happened last year was really bad. A lot of people came in like on what day, a week, a month after the deadline with all the money.
All right. Well, we're going to look
That-
forward to that. So I don't
We
want to
want
cut
you to
you
come
off
in before the deadline with all
before
the
the
money.
deadline. Before the
Yes.
deadline. All right. Hold
Yes.
that thought for me. Okay.
All right.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
And I won't have to tell my kids, this isn't a drill.
Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always lock it up.
This isn't a workout video. It's about how LLS has helped blood cancer patients like me thrive and how your donation can help countless others. Please give today at LLS.org.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to run. You know the treasurer is always on the roll for me, and he does such an excellent job in getting out that information to you. So keep in mind, you can always give us a call, 1-800-323-5336, if you got some questions for us, or if you want to just email me, marsha@justasktalkshow.org. Feel free. But keep in mind, you're going to see this show on Facebook and PBS Channel 56. So if you got questions for the treasurer, those numbers and that information will be available to you. I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. And what do I always say? Don't be afraid that if you just have a question about a person with a disability or just a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just Ask. I'm your host. See you next time.